My coffee date knew my ex-husband from work, and then he showed up at my kids' school. After my divorce, I stayed off dating apps for 2 years. My daughter was 5, and I didn't have the energy for strange guys. When men heard I had a kid, they either vanished or got way too intense. My friend kept pushing me to try again. Just coffee, she said. 1 hour. If he's boring, you leave. So I made a profile and matched with a guy named David. His pictures looked normal, his messages were polite, and he said he worked at a tech company downtown. We texted for a few days and picked Starbucks on 5th Street, Saturday at 10 a.m. I got there early, ordered my drink, and stood in line, checking my phone for his arrival text. Then I heard, loud and close, "Mommy!" I turned around, confused, because my daughter was supposed to be with her dad all weekend. But there she was, running toward me in her pink sneakers, with my ex-husband Mike right behind her, out of breath and embarrassed. "Sorry," Mike said, holding up her inhaler. "She forgot it at your place. Her asthma's acting up, and I didn't want to risk it." I crouched down, hugged my daughter, and made sure she had it. While I was still kneeling, a man walked up and stopped. "Sarah?" he asked. I looked up into David's face. Right on time. For half a second, I felt relieved, until his eyes slid past me and locked on Mike. David's smile froze. Mike's posture stiffened. "Mike?" David said, like he couldn't believe it. Mike stared back, and then said flat, "David." I stood there holding my daughter's hand, realizing they weren't strangers. They worked at the same company downtown. Mike was in accounting. David was in IT support. They'd been in the same monthly budget meetings for months. David knew Mike had an ex-wife named Sarah and a little girl. Mike knew David was newly single and had been talking about a Sarah from an app. Neither of them connected the dots until now. My date turned into 3 adults acting normal while my kid swung her feet. David kept glancing at Mike like he was trying to read him. Mike kept checking his watch and tapping his keys on the table. My daughter asked if David knew Daddy, and David did this weird laugh and said, kind of. Mike finally stood up, kissed my daughter's forehead, and said he'd call me later. When they left, the air felt heavy. David leaned in and said, "This is strange, but does Mike know you're dating right now?" I blinked at him. "We're divorced," I said. "We talk. It's not a secret." David nodded, but his face didn't match his words. He looked almost disappointed, like he wanted drama. 2 days later, Mike called me, and his voice was serious. "Sarah, we need to talk about David," he said. "Since Saturday, he keeps cornering me at work." I thought it was office gossip. It wasn't. Mike said David was asking personal questions about me, why we divorced, if I was stable, if I had money problems. Mike sounded genuinely freaked out. Then he said the sentence that made my skin go cold. "He's been doing this for weeks, Sarah, before you two even matched." I hung up and opened David's profile again, this time like I was looking for a lie. I zoomed into a photo that looked like a company party. Behind him was a banner, half covered, but I could still see the edge of Mike's company logo. David hadn't randomly found me. He'd been watching from work, using my ex to collect details, then building the perfect profile to pull me in. I blocked him on the app, blocked his number, blocked every account I could find. I called Mike back and told him to stop talking to David, even if it felt rude. Then I called my daughter's school and told the office, clearly, that nobody new was allowed to pick her up. They said they'd note it. I thought that would be the end. A week later, my daughter's teacher called me at work. Her voice was careful. "Are you expecting someone else at pickup?" My heart started pounding. She said a man had been hanging around near the school, watching the kids, then walked up and asked questions about my daughter by name. He told staff he was a family friend and might start picking her up sometimes. The teacher said he left when they asked for ID. I didn't even finish the call before grabbing my keys. I drove to the school shaking, and the office gave me a description that matched David. I went straight from there to the police station with screenshots, his messages, and the teacher's name. I filed a report, and before I left, I called Mike. "We're doing a safety plan today.